Good evening. Welcome to In the North Bank. Big Sunday show in the interlull. Guys, I want the Premier League to be back. I don't know about you guys, but yeah, I really want it to be here and now. But I think we've got a fair bit to get through tonight, so let's just take this little intro and then we'll go straight back into it. Yeah, so good evening, Mark and Dan. We've just lost Des, unfortunately. Again, the weather's been a little bit stormy today, so we missed out on him. How are you doing, guys?
Yeah, I'm good. Missing football, obviously. International football's not all that. So, quicker Arsenal get back, the better.
Yeah, good. Missing the men's team, but thankfully the women have had a couple of good results this week. So yeah, we're in the draw tomorrow for the Champions League next qualifying round. So that's sort of good. My Arsenal fix for this week, which has been good.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, good. No, it's good to be talking about Arsenal again. Just get back into the mix. I think we're going to touch on obviously the draw against Brighton, and then we're going to try and delve that a little bit further into North London derby territory. But yeah, let's start with the Brighton, I suppose. Nearly a week on, well, over a week on now. What are your feelings, Mark, on that on the 1-1 draw?
Do you know what? I'm gutted in it. I've tried to analyse it, and I guess that you guys will probably have a different opinion to what I do. But I feel if Arsenal are wanting to win the Premier League, our mentality has to just shift up just a little bit. And for me, the big talking point I thought was correct. I thought the referee got that correct, which you guys are probably not. So I'll be interested to have a chat on that. And I was proud of Declan for coming out afterwards and saying sorry. Mentality for me was everything. I'm not changing my opinion on it in the slightest. If we take our chances in the first half, it's 3 points regardless whatever decisions get made on the park. And so yeah, I'm calm. It's still early in the season, but I'm calm. But yeah, I've not shipped my mind away from my feelings on the major talking point, obviously.
Yeah, Dan, what did you think about that first half performance? Obviously, Havertz was very involved in the first half, and obviously getting that goal. What were your thoughts on his performance in general?
Yeah, like Mark says, I mean, first half really good. You say we take a few more of them chances, the game's near enough over by half time, isn't it? And again, I just think Kai, the first few games of this season, towards the end of last season and the Euros, he's growing more and more into that sort of number 9.5 position that he plays. He just looks the real deal. I think it was just maybe that game was just that it was the options on the bench really that just when we did need to change it a little bit forward wise, we didn't have them options. And obviously we've probably discussed about, we've guys have discussed before about what the changes we made in the transfer window. But yeah, I thought first half good. It's like, it was just with a finishing really, just a bit more clinical, and we're having a different conversation now.
Yeah. No, I definitely think it was one of those games where there were gilt-edged chances. On another game, you'd probably see two of those go in, certainly struck with a bit more intent, a bit more conviction. I look at the Odegaard chance. I look at the Saka one, and they were kind of almost scuffed to the goalie, weren't they? Really, just when we took them. So that's why I say they're more gilt-edged and rather just a bit. I don't know. Did we look nervous? I don't know about the game, and did that potentially affect kind of us on that side and that final part? I don't know. But yeah, we can obviously look at that 10-minute period, aren't we? Really, when obviously we go ahead, we score with about 9 minutes left, weren't there, in the first half. It was a great finish by Kai, and a great bit of endeavour from Saka, wasn't it, Mark? Just for the goal.
It was first class. Saka got Player of the Month, and I've seen a lot of Arsenal fans saying that Raya should have maybe had it before. He started the season really well, but the one thing for sure, Saka has 100%, and he's not even up to that level yet. We know that there's more to come. It's almost like these games are pre-season. Especially because he went into the Euros so late. So we know there's more to come. The guy's just world class. But I've got to agree with Dan. Havertz, for me, man, last season at this point, he was off it. And we had to build up the confidence, bring them in from Chelsea, etc. He's hit the ground absolutely running. And yeah, so the big things, the finish itself was unreal. I loved it. And even when we were down to 10 men, Paul, we still had opportunities to win. Like you said, there were gilt-edged chances. The only disappointing thing for me, and it's okay in hindsight, but rather than go 5 at the back, and Arteta took from the Declan Rice sending off, which was in 47 minutes, Calafiori came on in 57 minutes. It was 1-1 at that point. So there's maybe a little bit where Arteta should maybe have reacted just that tiny bit quicker. But I actually think that we had players at the back to go to a 3 at the back, because we had Ben White, Saliba and Gabriel. So we could have easily went 3 at the back and went 5 in midfield. And I felt in the second half when we went down to 10 men, we were smothered in the midfield. And obviously Saka almost dropped into the left 8. So although we still had chances, I felt, could we have done maybe a bit better if we just smothered the midfield a bit more and brought additions in there rather than our defensive line. I'm not sure, but maybe that's been too critical. Maybe I'm being a bit too critical there.
Yeah, no, I was saying in the stadium, Dan, that and I think I put it on the chat on last week's show after that weekend, and I said, do you reckon those changes were a little bit too late? Because it was almost, you could see the way it had gone, and there was a bit of a shock within the team. I thought there was unjust. I think there was a lot of things that were kind of going on with us, and I was there kind of thinking, geez, we got to kind of get a grip here and just kind of either steady the storm or just literally just get that change done and dusted. Dan, what did you think when that decision come, when Kavanagh made it all about himself?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. Like with you guys, like Mark was, I think we bring on Calafiori 5 minutes early, we win that game. I think that substitution was that crucial at that time. We just sort of bring him on a little bit, man. We get a bit. I don't know. Yeah, we maybe went too defensive, too quick, and like you say, the refs just. I don't know. We can debate it. I understand why, the reasons why, but I mean, we're supposed to be a sort of contact sport, and I think it's the frustration thing. And when you got the thing of it's 5 or 6 fouls before anyone gets a yellow card against Saka, and then Rice is getting sent off for that. That's where it's. The frustration, and that's why the players get frustrated with it, and Mikel's frustrated, and then obviously with the booting the ball away, a bit later on, it's just, But the injustice, I don't know if we maybe reacted brilliantly to the injustice. We should have just thought, right, come on, let's go and win this game now. Maybe just we needed to step up a little bit more. Maybe that was the sort of our downfall for that.
Yeah, I was thinking, Dan. I was just wondering whether or not we were wallowing a bit too much on ourselves, and we were kind of feeling a bit sorry, a bit down. And a team, say with a bit more, experience, say a Man City kind of ilk kind of team, would batten down, and they would still be controlling that game and dealing with it.
I think I don't. Sorry, but I mean, I don't like to sort of keep talking back to but you think of the Invincibles. week we were getting somebody sent off or near enough, wasn't it? And the team just got on with it. They played most games better with 10 men. They just knew how to deal with it. And
totally,
it was just, okay, we know what we're going to do. Everyone gets into position and they could just, they got on with it. And I think, like you say, we didn't, it took us too long to snap out of it.
No, I agree with you, Mark, as well. And three at the back. And it just looked like we just kind of almost gave up the momentum of the game, didn't we? In all honesty, we literally just either said, we'll let you have the ball and we'll kind of soak it up and then just try and get something on the break. But as I say, it was becoming just like a one-way tide, wasn't it? I didn't think we got as many players forward as we needed to all the time. Just see it being in the stadium and looking at the shape and that and where we were. It just did, I don't know. It was a little bit hard. Did you think it was a bit? It was very pragmatic. I would say from our point of view, certainly when we were looking to try and get a foothold, certainly a bit of possession. Did you think that, Mark? Or
no, I would totally agree with that. By the way, if you see my head just going up and down, I'm watching Portugal against Scotland, and Scotland are beating them 1-0. By the way, in Portugal,
Scotland are not winning the game, are they?
Yeah, we're winning 1-0 at the moment, and we're showing up okay as well. So so sorry if you see the distraction.
It's all good. All good.
I certainly I did, bro. But I did. I don't know why we didn't go to. I don't know why we didn't go to 5 in midfield, Paul. I just feel that we almost allowed them. It was almost. I don't know how to put this, if this will come over right, but it was almost like a bit of arrogance where we have got this amazing defence, an amazing goalkeeper who has won the Golden Glove. You're not getting past us even with 10 men, so we just got a 5 at the back from Arteta. And we fell asleep on one free ball from Dunk. And let's face it, he's not like the best player in the world at passing. So one free ball, and Saliba drifts out to the left when he probably is the faster of the two players and would have got there quicker than Gabriel. Gabriel, I think he obviously couldn't get to the ball either, and they take their chance. But honestly, Paul, we could have lost that game as well. They had a gilt edge opportunity where Ray is actually lying down. And their player, rather than just put it to like inside the post, he almost kicked it back to Ray, who was grateful just to pick it up. So
we were on the other side of the pitch, just literally just looking straight behind the goal. You see the original shot come in, and I just said straight up, I said Ray has gone. He's committed himself. And obviously got blocked. I'll just say, here we go. I was looking, I'm just expecting it, literally the next bulge, bang. And how they didn't get that,
by the way, Leandro's actually my mum in real life, and Mum, I'll buy you a bunch of flowers tomorrow for that message. Thanks. I'm kidding.
It's all good.
It was a bit of I don't know. It seems a bit strange when you say, but do you think that maybe there's a little bit of a fear factor with Brighton? That they've had so many bad experiences with Brighton, especially at the Emirates, that maybe the players were backing off and were a bit nervous?
I said this in the preview, didn't I? And I brought up the stats, didn't I? So where was it? The first 8 we've won. Was it three? Is it three successive games against Brighton? But then that's more than our first 8 games that we played against them. So I think they beat us for 3. Was it 7? I need to think of what's that out again.
I think it was 8. I think you said.
Yeah, but it was a shocking run anyway. Whatever, you know what I mean. And it said it was they've got the better of us pretty much. So quite fairly often until recent times. But I had that fear factor, and I'm sure those players at some point must have been thinking, "Oh God, this is going to be hard." Chris Cameron, I don't think we've had an apology. I don't think the PGMOL have come out and said, "Oh, it was an error, it was a mistake." I've not seen it. Any breaking news for me?
No, none whatsoever. None whatsoever. However, again, Paul, see if you break it down, and I just Declan, the players were warned on the pre-season. Kick the ball away, delay the restart. It's a yellow card. Declan Rice is on a yellow card. We know. Arsenal Football Club know that we're on the receiving end of some of these dodgy decisions. I just have to go back to Newcastle away last season and look at that goal. They three, for me, there was 3 VARs for one goal, and they still let the goal stand. There was 3 different checks.
Yeah,
we have to rise above it, and we cannot let these things. We have to factor them in. I know that sounds wrong because we all want a level playing field. However, Declan, just don't kick the ball away. And he does kick, he kicks the ball out of play. So no restart could actually take place. The inconsistencies of these referees are a joke. They are a complete and utter joke. But yeah, that's just where I am. Our attitude and our mentality has to be bigger. The inconsistencies of these referees will always be there. Is there bias? Is there corruption? People could use whatever agenda that they want to use. For me, I want Arsenal Football Club to win the league, and the only way we win the league is by doing our thing. And that is learning and not kicking the ball away when you're on a yellow card. That's it. So regardless if the refs got that right or wrong, Declan should know better. He plays for England. He was captain of West Ham all these years. So that's kind of my state on this. It's just, we need to rise above it as best we can.
Yeah,
and we can.
I think we need to be masters of our own destiny, don't we? In the end of the day, and obviously, we make sure that we don't get sucker punched into those kind of decisions. But I just have to say, if that kind of decision or that kind of, say, like kicking the ball away is punished with a yellow card, or even say a player going off the pitch on a second yellow, the game's gone. I look at it. I look at that like any kind of like normal kind of action. Obviously, the ball's been thrown at his heels, and when you kind of look down, when you're obviously on the pitch, every single time you see a ball kind of coming around, it's outside of the boot. Just literally knock it back, and that's basically all he's done. He's seen the ball rolling, and he just got like that, and he's gone like that. But the guy's apparently saying he's passed the ball. He totally just. He totally kicked the guy's leg, and there's no chance he's gone for the ball.
Paul,
the unpunished one, though.
Yeah,
and this is all I've heard from Spurs fans. The unpunished one with what was his name? This goal scorer. Who kicked the ball? Pedro, that's the one. They were all the Spurs fans I've been talking to. Oh, yeah, it's the correct decision. Blah blah blah. He had to go. And then the Pedro one. Oh, it was off the pitch.
It's not delaying a restart.
Well, but again, it is delaying the restart because he's kicked the ball back onto the pitch.
Right. Okay. Then the ref, but that's inconsistent.
So this, but it's what I'm saying. So everyone's saying, oh, that's the reason because it's not delaying because it's off the pitch. It's got multi-ball, but you then had say Arteta ready to pass the ball in to then go and start an attack. It's been kicked onto the pitch, so in theory, it's the same thing. But he's also kicked it a lot further and more meaningful as well. It was petulant. It was a proper thing like where you normally say you kick the ball away. It's a proper yellow card, and it just got waved away. But that's the consistent inconsistency.
Yeah, it is, and this is what we need to rise above. And I thought we'd done it on the Wales game because you had Havertz getting strangled on the floor, and then you get Jesus getting sexually assaulted, but we didn't react to it. Jesus pushed him over, got a yellow card. This is the Wales mentality is what we actually need to do rather than kick the ball out. So I'm not giving Rice a hard time, and I think it was pathetic. I do think it's pathetic.
Yeah.
But this is going to happen to Arsenal Football Club. It happens every season. It's not something new, Paul.
No, it's not. No, it's not at all. And say, we need to wise up. We need to be a bit more streetwise and make sure we don't go into those kind of situations. And by not reacting or not doing things like that, that's going to put us on a better keel, isn't it? Really, in the end of the day. Interested to hear in the chat what your views are on Rice's red card. Was it fair? Was it harsh? Yeah, let us know. We'll try and read them out a little bit later on as we go through. We're gonna dip straight into North London derby preview. A little short and sweet kind of thing now. Obviously, Rice being injured. Rice being suspended. And not so much injuries piling up, but they're just kind of it's a little bit key. I think there's four players out now, isn't it? Tomiyasu, obviously Jesus might be back for this time. Who else we got?
Calafiori.
Well, yeah, that's I think it's just a knock. I think on that side. Was it? Yeah, obviously Marino getting poleaxed. He got WWE style with Gabriel, didn't he? Hurt his shoulder. That's no good. That's about 4 or 5 weeks. And then Kieran Tierney, they're saying he's apparently might be back for the end of the month. But what are your thoughts with regards to this game, Dan? How are we going to approach this with the things in front of us now, or what's been placed in front of us with Rice obviously being suspended?
I mean, it's obviously with Rice out, Jorginho comes in, but then Jorginho's not playing number 8 because he's not going to be box to box. So it sort of means, either sort of double pivot or you're maybe moving Partey around, but. He's obviously been sort of sitting in front of the back four, been looking really good. But yeah, Jorginho's probably the only other option. I see someone in the chat said about Zinchenko maybe playing in midfield, which I'm up for, but I don't know necessarily in this game. But yeah, it's we know what it's like. We go to Middlesex. It's the usual thing, isn't it? We've got to just let them calm down a bit because they get a bit excited when they see a red and white shirt in their ground, and we've just got to let them get through the first 20 minutes. It's a little bit like the Rice situation. Don't do anything silly. Don't give any read. We had that a few seasons ago. Rob Holding totally lost his head. It's just like go there. You know what's coming. Just take control of the game. Maybe again, Jorginho being in there is perfect because he's got the experience and he can just calm everybody down around and get hold of the ball. Because we can go there and again we know how they're going to play. They're going to come at us. They're going to leave space and we can just sort of hopefully do what we did last season there and control the game, hit them on the break. But. Yeah, I think it is maybe just that left midfield position. And like I say, with Jorginho coming in, it's the options on the bench that's, maybe forwards-wise we're a bit better, but actual midfielders we're a little bit short at the moment with injuries.
Yeah. I'm going to let Mark just go back to Leandro with his take on that with Zinchenko before I...
Yeah, I've had this conversation before. Zinchenko plays very well in the left 8 for Ukraine, and he can do a decent job in there. And if you were to ask me, J20 and Partey double pivot or Partey and Zinchenko, I would go for Partey Zinchenko every single time. Honestly, Jorginho has not even had 1 minute, or a couple of minutes off the bench. That's it. So I would prefer that to today too. However, I've just got a feeling that it's going to be Havertz in the left 8 for the North London derby. I think I'll be Partey and him. And the question is going to be: is this going to come back? Is it going to be Trossard up front, or are we going to see Sterling get his debut and start up front? But I just don't think there's an option not to have Havertz in the midfield for this game.
No, I think that's one of the things now. I think we've come to learn to not believe that's going to happen again. I think that's just through playing and then obviously the whole kind of chemistry of that midfield three, isn't it? Really, with Havertz, those performances haven't been as fluid as they need to be when he's there. I think Sterling's going to play. That's my one take on it. But with regards to Zinni, I think that is a very viable option. And bearing in mind there aren't too many viable options in that system. We spoke about it on the last show. The mobility of a Partey and a Jorginho midfield, along with Odegaard. I'm not sure whether or not the running behind and getting back and dealing with what's coming back our way is going to be suited to them as such. Not saying Zinchenko will hugely change that, but I'm sure he's obviously got a bit more in his legs than obviously Jorginho on that side. I expect Jorginho to play some part just for the experience, but yeah, we're very limited, aren't we? Just option wise, just in that side. So I think it's a really good shout, Leandro. So yeah, it's a good shout. I think. What were your takes on Sterling? Do you think Sterling's going to have his debut, or do you reckon he'll be coming off the bench?
Let Dan go.
Yeah, go on.
I think he'll come off the bench. I think he's either go with Trossard or Martinelli, probably Trossard. I think he's a good to have on the bench. I know you've sort of seen the social media; they've been highlighting him quite a bit in his finishing and that. I think it's one thing of the international break that Mikel's had a bit of time to work with him these last sort of couple of weeks, last 10 days. So that's going to be a real benefit. But yeah, I think I'd be really, really surprised if he started.
Yeah. I'm going to go ask you this, Mark. I was thinking about this, like just the last few days. Sitting lonely in a hotel room when I was working away, and I'm just like thinking about Sterling. I'm just like, he surely offers us something different to what we've already got, and by that I mean he isn't afraid to get a shot away, have a go. Am I right in thinking that? I'm looking at him, and I'm suddenly thinking he's one of those where he can kind of get outside. And he isn't frightened to just literally let go, have a go on goal and do it. And I think we're sometimes a little bit too pragmatic and just a little. They want one or two more touches in our current crop, apart from Trossard.
Yeah, I would agree with you with that 100%. I mean, initially, once you get past the transfer window and everything settles down, I obviously wanted Osimhen to come in, which never took place, and we went for a loan deal for Sterling instead. Once that calmed down over the course of especially the last week, I think you're right. Watching Sterling sometimes, he could be a bit greedy, and maybe we're needing that, a bit selfish, and maybe we need that on our side. Because you're right, we are sometimes ticky-tacky and like players not shooting when they should be shooting, etc. So, no, I would 100% agree with that. And I hope if he's got minutes in his legs, I'm looking forward to seeing him in an Arsenal shirt. I completely am. And you're right, it is something different. And we do need that something different.
Yeah. Well, what are your feelings, Dan? Do you agree with that? Or
Yeah, 100%. He's that guy that's... he can. I mean, he's got a bigger trophy cabinet than the Spurs have, or anyway, hasn't he? With titles that he's won. So, yeah, just say for me, him just at least on the bench, but just to bring him on. I mean, that's going to make the Spurs defence sort of, give him a few things. And like I say, we do need that slightly selfish player that just like, I think it's that from Saka down the right, putting them balls across, and him just running. Cutting in from the left and getting on the end of them. That's what we want. And he's proved everything as a player. And I think he definitely comes to us with a bit between his teeth because he wants to sort of stick two fingers up to Chelsea and everybody else that's completely written him off. And yeah, I'm excited. He's a class player, and I'm looking forward to seeing him in an Arsenal shirt.
I'm just looking forward to link up, just actually seeing him, and hopefully if that all clicks and it kind of comes around, I'll tell you what, it'll be very very nice to see, wouldn't it? Just having him just added into that little mix. So yeah, brilliant. Roll on. That day, North London derby. Right, predictions. I suppose we might as well do a quick prediction. We'll have a preview show a little bit towards the game, but we might as well do it here now. And I can play it back and then see who's changed their minds closer to the time. Come on, Dan. What are you thinking?
Let's go for the classic 1-0 down, 2-1 up for the Arsenal. It's got to be 2-1.
Oh, Jesus, nervous. Wait, go on, Mark.
3-1 Arsenal.
3-1 Arsenal. Yeah, I can't. I think both teams are going to score. You're both there. I'm going to end up being boring either way. I'm going to either say 2-1 or 3-1. So yeah, I'll probably say 2-1. I think it will be a close game, as they always are. Majority of the times, certainly over there. It's just, can we make sure we don't make mistakes and give them something into the game, because we know that it's going to be noisy. And yeah, if we quiet them down then and get the goals like we did last year, then yeah, it'll be a good game. But we nearly lost it then, didn't we, as well? Well, not lost it, but we were 3-0 up, weren't we? And then we come back to 3-2, didn't we? So at that point, we were all like, kind of, oh, God. And see what's kind of happened now after this. It was just like, oh. But yeah, they're not the easiest games to watch, really. They're always kind of hiding behind.
No, they're never pleasurable, home or away. They're never. Yeah. I mean, for the everybody else, I think it's probably the best derby game. Really, I think it is.
Yeah.
It's the most exciting. Everything happens. So if you're Chelsea, Liverpool, United fan, whatever, it's the game you'd watch because something always happens. But for us, it's 90 minutes a nightmare.
Yeah, no, definitely. Just going to go into the chat. Leandro said, yeah, Rice card was completely unfair. The refs have a cognitive ability to make decisions based on the spirit of the game. Refs in England have a tendency to steal the show, and make it all about them. Yeah, we've many decades of that. I go back to Old Trafford and the 49th game. Sorry, the 50th game, sorry. And yeah, that was all about someone as well, wasn't it? Another decision.
It's that thing what Mark was saying, though, like, as cynical and dark arts as he is, you wouldn't see Rodri getting sent off for that. He wouldn't do that in a cleverer way to get away with it.
That you got certain players that like Cat with like 9 lives every single game.
Yeah.
Then when it's like Declan Rice. When was the last time he got sent off?
It was the first time.
We've had his first time. I've not seen the stat, but I'm just saying. As soon as he hits Arsenal, it'll be Patrick Vieira Mark 2.
Yeah. Do you know something? Without going into it too much, because I'd rather that Arsenal just grew above it. But for me personally, when you've got three referees from our country going over to Saudi Arabia getting paid £20,000 for 190 minutes of football, there's questions that are going to get asked. And then when you bring in referees that are from Manchester down to London to go and officiate our games, again, questions are going to be asked. So I don't know why this continues to be allowed to go on. I honestly don't get it. I really don't.
Yeah, I'm just not sure. I don't know. I just don't know where all the southern referees are. They can't be bad. That's what I'm saying. There's obviously some good referees out there, but why is everyone from that kind of the geographical kind of area? I think there was a stat saying about the percentage of them, and it was crazy. It was crazy the amount from around the Manchester area and up north. I don't know. It's a very strange.
Is the ref for Sunday yet? Have they announced that?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure about that one.
don't even want to look, if I'm being honest.
I'm going to try and just avoid that one until
Sunday.
I'll tell you, I don't want to hear it because I don't want to keep going on and just then looking at the previous mistakes. Leandro, again, managers, players have press conferences after the game. Why don't refs? Yeah. Why is it not common for us to get a breakdown and explanation on decisions? Those decisions decide outcomes of games. It's madness. Yeah, look, with the money that's involved, there needs to be accountability, doesn't there? I think just on that side. I mean, it would surely kill the fire, wouldn't it? Like after a game where there's controversial decisions, Dan, if a referee comes out and just doesn't have to be like totally vilified, but just like it comes, I gave it because of this, or.
I think, I mean, you know, there's a lot of things you can obviously pick up from other sports, but you can pick up from rugby. Like I think, you know, it's a good thing the refs are mic'd up in rugby because the players show ultimate respect for the referee. But when they are doing a VAR decision, it's on the big screen. You can hear the conversation going on, what they're deciding, what they're going through. Do that. I don't see why they don't do that in football. Just say they're talking through the process, what they're thinking. They look at it and they don't rush. They look at it time and time again. 2 or 3 of them on it, not just one person going. No, we can do that in football. 100%.
Yeah, I've said that before, Mark. It's like the FA and like the PGMOL don't want to be seen to be weak or admitting that they've made mistakes. That's the difference between rugby and the current situation in football.
But how could you progress if you're not doing it? This is the thing. How can they progress? See, if the referee came out and said, right, I've watched it back, didn't see it properly, I've made a mistake. Oh, sorry, I've made a mistake, and then that's it from there. That's all they have to do.
Yeah, I don't know. I think just mistakes are they're made more of in football rather than rugby on that side. I just think it's almost it's a weakness. If we show that we've made a mistake or and it's cost someone, we're weak. We're in a bad position. And
I mean, there's the frustration, but I think if it happened more where they're coming as a little rude, we made a mistake then. Yeah. But you know, if it happens and you got that bit of accountability, fans are right, they're going to be annoyed, but you'd sort of go, okay, they're human, we understand. That's all you want, isn't it? Just not just this complete shut off and no one, you know, exactly, you can't say anything against them. Mikel says one thing, then he's suspended, and it's just like, you know, you just this sort of big brother thing, aren't you? Up, you can't say anything against, you can't criticise, and you're not doing the right job.
Yeah, literally can't say anything now, can you?
No. TMO has got to be the best thing that's ever happened in sport, in my opinion. It's got to be the best thing that's ever happened in sport, and it is just as precise, it's real, and there's no arguing with it at all. I just do not know when you have $1 billion industry like what we're in, and we can't have it. I just don't understand it at all.
What happens? I mean, I'm not really watching, but I assume there's obviously incidents in the NFL with sort of things like that. I mean, they must have some sort of, you know, I mean, that considering the amount of money that brings in for that league, you know, you can go and look at other sports, can't you? Sort of see what they're doing and get a bit of an idea.
Oh, didn't need to see full screen, did you?
Yes, they've interrupted. See, they've.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think every sport can learn off others. 100%. Yeah. Look at tennis. Look at how like the kind of Hawkeye and then the goal line technology stuff kind of like come in as well. There's lots of little things, and there's certainly more improvements as well to come. Look at the whole baseline or the touch line, goal line. All the way down, we wouldn't have the St James's Park, would we? Again, if that was there in place, but obviously it's only going to be elite grounds, isn't it? It's not going to be everywhere, but it's certainly something that's going to probably come in. Oh, we lost Mark.
We lost Mark.
Has Scotland haven't scored again, have they?
Maybe Portugal have got another 2 back.
Oh, he's gone off. Just for a second, Emerson's gone 2-2.
Okay.
Oh, and Des has gone 2-0 Arsenal.
Like that. Like that.
Yeah, clean sheet. I'll always be happy with a clean sheet.
All day long. That's good.
Yeah, he's having a little laptop issue. There he goes. So yeah, Scotland is still 1-0 by, I think. Let's have a look. Let's have a quick look. Unless he's started celebrating and he's knocked his laptop off.
You got a live watch along for the Scotland game. Cool. I didn't realise they were even playing until.
Nor did I. Yes, almost half time now. So yeah, blimey.
They got plenty of time to lose that match. That's fine.
Yeah. So yeah, I think Des has agreed. Yeah, they need to be held accountable. Brio also mentioned Sterling will score in the North London derby. Look, I'll tell you what, that'll be unbelievable. The scenes if that happens. Are you still all right, Dan? Or are you needing to?
Yeah, no, you're all right, Gunman. Just so when Mark comes back, right, Gunman.
No worries. Yeah, just wanted to just touch about the injuries as well. Obviously, Jesus, Marino being long term, and then Tierney have gone. How is our approach affected really? We're obviously Marino. Obviously, we don't know, but obviously he's going to be coming in as the left 8, and then Jesus. How is it affecting us? Obviously, barring the numbers, do you think it's going to really cause problems?
I think it was that the Brighton game where we just had that lack of. I think it's like I said a couple of weeks ago, just that lack of different options on the bench. Really, wasn't it? It was just you sort of throwing on. What's his name? I can't think. The young 17-year-old lad.
Nieri.
Yeah. Just you sort of. Yeah, you got a few youngsters on the bench where you've a bit lack of options, and I don't know, mate. You sort of look at it now and you think, did we maybe need another midfield player? Did we need, especially with letting Vieira go and Smith Rowe? I mean, probably Smith Rowe's thinking he'd have been playing potentially.
Yeah. It's all ifs and buts, isn't it? When you suddenly go around and all of a sudden Marino comes in, he's fully fit, and then they don't get the game time, but then you then get rid of 2 or 3 or whatever, and then the new signing gets injured as well, and it's just like,
yeah, just in a sort of freak accident, really. It sort of seems, but yeah, it's. I mean, hopefully, like you're saying, Jesus will be back on the bench. I mean, he's a good player just to bring on if you can get him 15-20 minutes out of him. If you just sort of need him at the end, that's a good option. It's just combating these games really, and it's just getting through until we've got a few more bodies. I think. If we'd have been these first 3 games and someone said, well, you're going to get 7 points, you'd have taken a draw at Villa and thought you'd win your 2 home games. So to be where we are isn't a disaster. We just need, maybe 4 points, ideally 6 points from the next 2 games.
Yeah. What a
games
they are. Yeah, I'd say
if we thrown in as well. Yeah, just.
I tell you what, it'd be a great position if we do stay unbeaten with those 2 games. That'd be a great position. So depth-wise, I think we can cover, can't we, by the scruff of our necks? I think on that side, certainly in the midfield side. I think defence. I think we're obviously a lot better than we have been for quality. But it's that midfield, isn't it? That's just the worry. Certainly that left 8 kind of.
But we're talking, say, with the midfield. So we've got Italy's captain and Ukraine's captain as our sort of backup midfield player, which isn't a bad position we can sort of be in. And I think I'd like to see Zinchenko had a bit of a go at left 8. So I'm not quite sure maybe for the North London derby, but moving forward, he's definitely got the quality to play there 100%, and he could have something a bit different. So we have got options. It's beyond them, what we're bringing in for Sunday, isn't it? That's just where we're a little bit short at the moment.
Yeah, no, I definitely think that. Um, yeah, welcome back, Mark. Yeah,
Sorry,
I think no worries, that's fine. Yeah, I think Zinni's definitely got a lot to prove. I think certainly if he comes in on that left eight role. But yeah, talking about the squad depth and obviously injuries. Obviously, I think we've spoke cordially about the squad and the transfer windows, haven't we, Mark, over the last week or so? Whether or not it's good enough, whether or not we've got enough in the tank to deal with injuries. Do you think that we've got enough considering the injuries at the minute?
no, I don't. I don't. And do you know what? I'm never pessimistic at all. But I'm going to be this. Seeing until we get to January, we've got to stay with Man City. We have to stay with them. If we do not get a positive result in the North London derby, and then God forbid we get beat from City, the gap's already there. And I just think the club were so close. We're so close to City. It's like, why did you not just push the boat out in the transfer window? Just push it out. Go and get these extra additions in, and yeah, I think we were very lucky last season with injuries. This season, we're only 3 games in. Tommy Asu will can't count that because he's been out since pre-season, but we've already lost 3 players, and we've also got a suspension. It's critical. So I just feel that we're thin. I do think we're thin, and I think the club should have done more.
Yeah, yeah. No, I can get that. But I said that these two games are. I think you can. Well, I'm not going to put City into this, but this North London derby is one game that you could probably win, lose, or draw in the same game. No matter what stage of the game you're in, that's what it always feels like to me. I know that we could potentially go and lose it, we could go and win it, we could go and draw it, just how it goes and the ebbs and flows. I'm never happy. I'm never safe. I always think that something else is going to happen. So we could have had new signings. We could have stocked up the new signings or whatever. We could have spent ridiculous amounts of money and then still potentially be in the same situation as what we maybe be in with the worst outcomes in these two games. That might not change anything, but yeah, we are short in that key area, and that's something we have to address or certainly get players back and then look at it for January. What do you think about the international break and how's that going to affect us? Certainly recovery wise with those injuries. Any kind of real help?
Is that for me or Dan?
I'll go for Dan. Go on.
I suppose Rice playing 90 minutes, considering he's not playing Sunday, wasn't a disaster. But
No.
and him scoring was good. But yeah, Saka. I think England playing again Monday, Tuesday, Finland. He doesn't need to play in that game. What has he got to prove for England? Nothing at all. You got Bowen, you've got, it seems funny that Palmer and a few other players managed to pull out the England squad. So, Saka doesn't need to play. He's got nothing to prove at all for England. So you could leave him out of that game. England, they should have more than enough to that. I think probably everybody else, when will they potentially come back? Wednesday, Thursday, I suppose, back into training. Yeah. So Mikel's got a few days. So I think maybe that's the only bit of blessing is he's just had a bit of time, let's say, with Sterling and that, just to, he's probably been, with him 24/7 just to sort of say what he's expecting from him. And he might just be, say, coaching him just ready for Sunday, just thinking that this is what we're going to do, watching the Spurs back four over and over and over on tapes and just unleash him. But we can't afford any others. I know Timber played for Netherlands. He's had sort of 20 minutes, which is good for him, and he's probably pretty beaming because I think he played with his brother as well, didn't he? So that's pretty good for him. But yeah, I think if no one else playing Monday, Tuesday, and then just get them back and wrap them in cotton wool.
Yeah, I just think even if it was used sparingly, you wouldn't be so hard on it all, would you? But then when you keep seeing Saka play for 90 minutes, it's just like, even when he gets subbed off for 85 minutes, it's like, well, yeah, come on, give him a break. You know what to do. Let someone else have a go and just, I don't know. In the chat, let us know your thoughts. Is the squad depth strong enough? Yeah, let us know, and yeah, we'll put your comments in. Dan, are you still okay, or are you wanting to pop out?
I can do, if that's all right, guys. Yeah. If that's all right.
No, thank you for coming on. And yeah, apologies, it was a little bit delayed, but family life. Get a nice quiet area in the house. It's it's a challenge. So yeah, thanks Dan for coming on, and yeah, hopefully I'll have you on for midweek for the North London Derby preview. So yeah, cool.
Big up, Dan. It's good being on with you again, bro.
Thanks, guys.
No worries, mate. Take care. Have a good week. So, me and you now, Mark.
Yeah.
And I've got a great one. I'd like to have got Dan's view on this, but yeah, what are your views on Tierney, fellow Scot, having a Champions League place?
Oh, do you know something? See if you had been fit on Saturday, I would have had if we're playing 5 at the back, playing left wing back. And I think he would have been absolutely brilliant for us. I think he's been given that spot because of the lack of bodies that we have. And that is it. I do not see Kieran Tierney playing another game for Arsenal Football Club, and that's just my God's honest opinion. He doesn't invert. Does not fit the style of play Arsenal Football Club. Do I think he's a brilliant player? Absolutely. I love Kieran Tierney, but I just think these days are gone at Arsenal. And personally, I think he'll be away in January without kicking another ball for Arsenal.
Yeah,
unless unthinkable happens and there's more injuries.
Oh, stop.
I'm trying not to. I'm
just going to throw a curveball in there, and I'm looking at obviously the signing of Timber, and now obviously having him back after the injury, and yeah, we know about obviously, or we don't know about Arteta's master plan last season, what he actually wanted to do, whether or not he wanted to invert on the other side. Could Tierney be a mirror image of Ben White on the other side, staying fairly wide and support on that left hand side rather than on the right hand side for Saka like Ben White does?
Yeah, do you know what? It's possible, and he is good enough, Paul. He is good enough. Honestly, I rate this guy 100%, and I would love it. Honestly, I would love him to have a future at Arsenal Football Club. My thinking is, just from what I've seen on Arteta, you either put players out on loan for 2 reasons. It's either one, to get minutes in their legs and put them to a higher test, or the other is you're putting them in the shop window. Now, the players that you put out on loan to get them to a higher level or a better level are your kids, not somebody at 25, 26-year-old. That's never going to happen. So that just tells me instantly that Arteta has absolutely zero plans for Kieran Tierney. I may be shocked. I would like to be shocked. We all love Kieran Tierney. He is that guy, by the way. He was that guy in Scotland that would go about with a t-shirt on in the middle of when it was snowing. He would turn up at training with a Tesco bag. Yeah. He'd turn up with a Tesco bag and he's kit in there. He's not a flash guy. He's just football. Yeah. And he is legit. So I love that. And I think it's a great culture to bring to a football club as well. I just cannot see Arteta integrating him back into the side. I can't, Paul, at all.
No, it's looking improbable, but yeah, as I say, I probably think it is more to do with the numbers, just to register. players. But again, I think there's going to be a bit of activity, I think, going on in January. And we're not savvy to what our PSR situation is. Another few months after this window, does January suddenly look a whole lot more rosier and more wiggle room as such for us as a club? We don't know what it's like. We've had the talk through the transfer deadline show, but I just wonder whether or not there is now. Well, there is going to be a big kitty, but whether or not there's going to be some big spending coming in, or certainly some numbers coming in, which would then indicate a Tierney and any others kind of go, and they will then fill those places or squad numbers ready for the latter part. Because bearing in mind, if it's an extended like league phase now, isn't it? It goes into like mid January now, doesn't it? So yeah, that's my take on it. I think potentially there's going to be business done then, and then hopefully we'll let see the numbers, won't we? Then, and hopefully there's no more injuries, and we can suddenly see we've got a proper push.
It's a horrible transfer window, though. You know that, Paul. I know that, and yeah, there's just people don't. I mean, if you look at Arsenal on January signings, I think Ozil was one, Aubameyang was one, but there's not been a long list of January transfer signings for Arsenal Football Club. So I'd be interested to know how many players we've actually brought in during that period. It's going to be difficult. But the club's got to find some way to do it. And for me personally, I don't think our football club is anywhere near breaking PSR issues. We were last season up until the end of June. And then that's why nothing happened in the first month of June in the transfer window.
Yeah.
And then we're bringing in over 100 million, which goes straight on your books and almost wipes out any PSR issues instantly. That's what Chelsea Football Club are doing.
Yeah.
So again, Paul, I think that, like, obviously we've went for targets. They've not been available for whatever reason, and we've decided just to back away from it, which is good. So you're not panic buying. I did put the Raheem Sterling down as a panic buy. I've calmed down now. It's a loan. Chelsea are taking on the majority of that. But Edu and everyone at the club have to do their due diligence and get players in January. This squad is not big enough to go through international games and Premier League games and Champions League games, Cup games. They'll be playing over 60 games in one season. Nobody, they'll break down. They will break down.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, as I said, these Champions League games, you only have to look at that last week in September, don't you?
Yeah.
About 23rd. So it's not good. It's not good. You chuck in the Carabao Cup game as well. It's just, I don't know. There's a lot of football to be played in that short term. No more injuries, I think. Players come back on Thursday, as Epperson says. Games tomorrow and Tuesday. England obviously being one of them on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So, hopefully wrapped in cotton wool, hand delivered back, and then hopefully we can get them back in a good state and ready for Sunday, because we're going to need everyone. As Zoom in the UK said, keeper game's coming up. All hands on deck. I think that is 100%. Any good things happening on in the international break? I know I've seen a few little clippings. I saw a fantastic goal for Italy against France. Did you see that?
No, I didn't. I've not watched any at all. I didn't even watch the Scotland game, and they're playing in the background just now. So I've not been able to watch any of it. I tried to catch up on just some of the highlights and stuff of a couple of them, but I've not seen anything.
No.
I seen Declan's goal last night. He took it brilliantly. And
There was a great goal by that Irish midfielder, wasn't it?
it was, it was
Yeah.
totally. But
Sorry, my friend. Sorry, apologies.
yeah, no, it was. He did take his goal well, and there was actually a question that White got put in earlier, Paul. So I'll give you it. And the question was, what do you think about Declan Rice not celebrating that goal?
Yeah, I look at it and I suddenly say, look, he could fuel the fire even further from the proper hostility that he has. And I mean, he was getting the dog abuse all game as well. Yeah, part of me would, if it was me, I'd probably want to stick out them as well for give something back. But then sometimes again, you have to look at there is a respect factor. I think on that side, I think he's had it with West Ham as well. I think that's just a bit of self-respect. I think at the end of the day, I look at that and I suddenly think, well, look, you could be a right prat about it or whatever, and just rub people's faces in who idolised you, who loved you, have got kids who loved you as a player, to then be celebrating, lauding it up in scoring a goal against them, and then you're suddenly thinking, well, look, I don't know. I think it's down to him. I'm certainly not going to vilify someone for either celebrating or not celebrating. But I don't know. I look at it. I think, yeah, if it was me, I probably would want to give something back. And that's just that would be me.
Yeah. I think I would have as well. If I scored, I would have definitely given someone back. I would have celebrated. But it's a respect to the man.
I'd say, is it more different for a club than internationals? And I'll probably say that you're probably a bit more liberal and a bit more calmer on the international side of things. I think you'd be a bit more tribal, I think, with the clubs, wouldn't you? I suppose in that way. Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting one, but yeah, look, I wouldn't want to be in a situation. I think I'd hate to be playing for multiple clubs. Certainly, if I'd left a club that I'd supported or whatever, or grew up going through, to then be playing someone else and then being in that situation, I think I'd have to be one club. I know that's why I would never. Well, no, the shitness as well would be. That's why I'd never be a footballer playing pro because I don't think. Yeah, if I was Arsenal and I was in Arsenal, then I wouldn't want to go anywhere else. And then had I probably have not made it Arsenal or left. Look at the ones that left this season. I'd be like, well, it's not the same. It's not the same. But again, I suppose it is it's a totally different mindset then, isn't it? It's your job. It's your job, and it's paying you the money. So you suppose you have to. You're in that awkward situation, and it's I said I don't know. It plays silly things with you, certainly in the heat of the moment as well. Yeah. So you'd celebrate.
I would celebrate 100%.
Yeah. Knee slide, shirt off,
You're booing me and you're giving me absolutely grief from start to finish in that game. And I bang one in the top corner against you. You honestly think I'm not giving you it? Honestly.
Yeah, it was a great goal as well.
It was brilliant. You took it really well. But no, I would well and truly give it back. I would well and truly give it back.
So, that was a little bit about that one. It's ridiculous, though, that this is happening 3 weeks into the season, isn't it? We talk about it every year, I think, at the end of the day. Why is it so early? It just disrupts the momentum, doesn't it?
How could you even get going? Like, we've not even had a pre-season because our players are wearing international duty. They come back after reaching a final, or some of them reached the final. Like, so Arsenal had 4 at that point, if you include Ramsdale. Yeah, it's still 1-0. So you've got this coming back. Like, the players have not been together, not had a pre-season. They get into the first 3 games, they're starting to find their feet, and guess what? Bang, we're shutting down for 2 weeks, we're going on international duty. No bother whatsoever. It is, honestly, it is just. And do you know what? See, my fear is that the likes of your Chelseas and other clubs that pulled their players out, that they have had an extra 2 weeks to work together, and then they go into these next set of fixtures like ahead of everyone else.
Yeah,
And you
yeah,
can see that happening. You can see that happening because we've got
yeah.
players away on it. It's just, it's ridiculous. Something has to give. Either get rid of one of the cups, domestic cups, and calm down the amount of game time that these guys are playing if you're going to continuously add in these games to these players. You cannot do it. You cannot do it.
So I've said this before, and I still stand by it. And I look at the times. Look, we're breaking again next month as well, and it's like all these little breaks. Something to say. Well, why don't you just take a period, whether or not it's 4 weeks or 5 weeks, and you suddenly say, right, okay, this is an international break. There's a bit of recuperation for the ones that are not involved. You can pick and choose your squads as and when. Obviously, if players get injured, then you can bring players in, so you can still have that rotation around. But you play all your international games all in one block, done dusted in one like period, rather than breaking off 3 weeks into the season, then another month later, and it's like you know what I mean, just get it done, dusted out of the way. If you've got injuries, so be it.
Portugal have just equalised.
Oh dear,
No,
nightmare.
no, you're right, Paul. You're absolutely right, and I just. I don't know like what is the correct answer to it, but it could be brave to just have a January switch off from it. Shut down the January transfer window, and just in January, it's international month, on you go and get your games done and dusted. That is it. And then and it gives the rest of the players the time to have to take a breather. But see, the thing is, these international managers are not giving players breaks. They
Yeah,
know that they're playing 90 minutes. I mean, as you said, I didn't see how long Saka played, but if he's playing 85 minutes for England, he's been doing that for Arsenal the first couple of games of the season. Arteta's taken him off after 85 minutes.
yeah.
It's like, it is not a break at all.
I must say for England, I just think it's you don't need to see what he can do. You know what he's going to do, and this is why I suddenly say it's like, well, it's a bit different with Arsenal because we know we need our best players. We need to get them playing, and you know what I mean. It's we need the points. It's such fine margins, but in these kind of games where there's not a huge amount riding on it, it's Nations League, and
Exactly.
you can swap it around. You know what I mean? It's one of those. It's just I think it's a bit nonsense. I think in all honesty, yeah, you're going to get more rounded games. I think throughout the qualified on that side, but we don't need to know what Saka can do against Ireland. We know what he can do. So give someone else a chance, half a game, whatever. Make it a bit shared out because yeah, it just gets silly. With the game time, but I don't know.
You've got that player from Chelsea, plays on the right wing. He scored a hat trick just the other week. Is it? How do you say his name?
Who's that?
The Chelsea player. He plays the right wing.
I'm talking about Mudwaki.
Yeah. He's on the bench. Never got any game time whatsoever.
Yeah. No, this is it. Look, if you
do England really need to qualify? Do England really need to qualify out of the Nations League? Do they really? No, they don't.
No,
they don't.
Yeah.
For small nations, you do. For England, they don't. So why are they giving Declan Rice and Saka almost play them every minute, every game. Why? It's-
It's just, I think we also need to be a bit more on it as well. Yeah, you picture Harry Maguire played 85 minutes, Grealish 77, Mainu 77, Gordon 77, Harry Kane come off 84, Saka stayed on. Yeah, it's just the same things over and over and over. I think just from the managers. I said, yeah, look, you've got these players, utilise all the players, and this is where I think England come a cropper going into the tournaments. If you haven't tested out your other players, we talk about plan A, plan B, plan C. What happens if Saka's injured or gets injured? Where's my plan B on that side? Why can't I? I don't know. I can't work out what or who can do his job as good or near as good as what Saka can. You know, just say there's no rotation. There's no other way of like looking and seeing can they actually do it. They're just picked just to make numbers up almost, and nothing else.
See if you put it from the flip side of that as well. If when you get to these major tournaments, if these players have played all these games, how are they going to produce for you at the major tournament to the maximum of their ability if they're burnt out? So like it works two ways. It totally works two ways.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah. Well, so you don't want them to burn out, but as I said, again, when you've got your star players, you don't want them. Again, you're flogging them. Just like if it's Arsenal, obviously we're the club that's obviously paying his wages. We've still got duty to look after him and make that less like on his shoulders all the time and flogging him. But England don't need to flog him as well. Not in these friendlies, not in all these Nation League games. You know what I mean? There's just a bit of control. See what else is out there, and then you can rotate it around. 45 minutes. That's fine.
Yeah, exactly. But the other side, maybe Arsenal Football Club need to turn into an Alex Ferguson.
Yeah.
And just say, no, you're not going. You're injured.
Yeah, play hardball. And that's it. Or, yeah, like the dark horse, pulling out like they're in Mourinho, just now they're injured.
Yeah.
But when we've done that, wasn't it Saka who had to report to England training?
Yeah.
To then be told, are you injured? Go back home. It's like mental.
Did that happen to Palmer, by the way, when he's pulled out this time? Has he been called in?
Probably not.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So you've got a player that's injured. He has to, obviously if he's on the road or whatever, a couple of hour chauffeur-driven car, whatever, or if he's got a plane or whatever, still got to go there, come back on an injury, and then it's like, well, wouldn't it be better just to rest it up? I don't know. It's, yeah, bit much. Yeah, look, we'll round up with just like the summer signings that we've obviously made, and just the start to the season, I suppose. Overall, the start of the season, how do you feel?
Yeah, we would have been sitting on 9 points if it wasn't for that decision, or if we had to take our chances in the first half. So you can't say anything remotely bad against the club for that. It was taken away, I guess. 2 points were taken away. I'm delighted, it's been a slow kind of start. And what I mean by that is not being back straight to our best of the back end of last season, or certainly from January this season. Not been back to our best, but it's building up fitness at the moment and just trying to get the team gelling together on that. So I'm happy, and we know that we've got a brilliant first 11. We do know that 100%. And actually, you could the signings that were made, we're probably stretched that a bit deeper. We've probably got a really good 15, 16 now. So on that front, it's good. Disappointing with the injuries. You can't help it, I guess. We have players that you can't help it with. We've lost Jesus and we've lost Tommy Asu, who we know that we're going to lose. We know that we're going to lose them, so there's nothing you could do there. They're just injury-prone players that break down all the time. But in general, it's good seeing Timber coming in and building up his fitness, and I'm looking forward to seeing him this season. But on the whole, I'm delighted, Paul. I'm really, it's been a good start. Just take these chances. You're creating them. If we weren't creating them, I'd be disappointed.
Yeah.
But we are creating them. So we just have to start taking them.
Yeah, no, definitely. And obviously the signings we've made. Obviously Sterling coming in the last minutes. We spoke that it's going to be exciting to see what he can do and how he fit in and mould in to the Arsenal way. Obviously Marino, Calafiore, Raya, and the two young goalkeepers. I think coming in. I think that's obviously a key signing as well. A couple of key signings as well for the long term. Anyway, Neto obviously coming in the short term just to kind of fill that gap with Ramsdale going. But yeah, we got rid of a couple of young goalkeepers in the summer. So yeah, obviously for those coming in, I think long term wise, I think they're the future, or hoping to be the future of the goalkeeping side of Arsenal down the line. Both 18. So what were your thoughts rating for that window?
Now that I've calmed down to 6, I would start off by giving the club a 10 through the sales. I thought the sales were fantastic, and they shipped out a lot of players that needed to go over, being honest. So they definitely get a 10 for that. Then I'm going to take 2 points off for the goalkeeping situation.
Yeah.
Because we have weakened our goalkeeping situation, and if rather than me have a meltdown again, guys, if you've not watched Deadline Day, just go back and watch that. So 2 points off for that, and then I'm giving them a whack at another 2 points off for the not bringing in at least another one or two, especially a striker. They're losing that. So a 6 overall for me.
Yeah. No, as I said, I think it was just one of those windows. I think that like you said earlier, they had the targets, and we've done it before, haven't we? Where we've had targets and we've chose not to overextend or go searching for it to try and get something done, as opposed to just paying what you actually feel is the value. So you don't want to be that club like what Chelsea have been doing. But as I said, I think there'll be things done in January. It will be tough, but we don't know also what conversations potentially have been had as well with clubs as well behind the scenes. Don't know. We don't know. But I'm hoping we don't. I'm hoping we don't stay on our laurels if we get everyone back up and back to fitness and just kind of wait on it. I do hope we go and just fill in a couple of those little holes to have a big push, because that period after January is crucial. And if we can hit that ground running, certainly with a full strength squad with additions, that'd be unbelievable. Retro Rewind TV conundrum here. Lautaro Martinez, I'm now on Football Manager. Do you feel 210 million and 650k a week with 75k appearance fee is too much? That is proper Football Manager. I don't know if you play Football Manager, Mark.
No, I've not played it for years. I used to play it. That's some serious money right there, though.
There's a lot of money. You've got a great chairman. Don't get me wrong, Retro. That is a lot of money. I'm not going to lie. I'd go for someone a little bit cheaper. I'd go down the Arsene Wenger route. Go and find a wonder kid. But yeah, thanks for messaging. As I'm in the UK, Scotland having a real go, but we could we get commentary. I'm going to slip it on after this. But yeah, I think we've covered a fair bit more tonight. Look, thanks for coming on again, and just yeah, some good stuff in the chat. And yeah, it's interlull, it's boring, and yeah, I want to try and get another little chat in about Arsenal before we go into proper North London derby mode midweek. So yeah, thank you for coming on, and yeah, Des for waiting for us, but technical difficulties, and Dan as well for coming on with his views as well. So yeah. You've been watching in the North Bank, the Big Sunday Show. We're signing off. Just say, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe to the channel. The Big Sunday Show also is on Apple Podcasts as well. So if you do have a little search, I'll put a link in the bio for subscribing to that. Any support, greatly appreciated. So yeah, thank you for watching and hopefully listening. Yeah, signing off. Up the Arsenal, and yeah, we'll see you soon. Come on, the Gooners.
Come on.